About a week ago, I got contacted by my wife's best friend's husband asking if we could meet up and talk. Long story short, he dropped a bomb on me telling me our wives were cheating on us and showed me a video that has been spreading on porn sites of our wives and their friend having sex at their old house with some guys we've never seen. When I confronted my wife about it, she went through all the stages of emotions and all the excuses she could come up with. She even said it wasn't her even though her face is clearly visible. I immediately called my lawyer and explained things, to which he told me to take a breather, collect my thoughts, and he sent me an email with things to do so I can take it step by step. I 46 and my wife 44 have 3 kids. Our daughters 12 and 4 and our son 9. They all go to school where we live. They're all doing sports or activities. They love it here. They're doing great, and this is where the biggest issue comes in. We live in a small town and word has definitely gotten around. A lot of things I noticed before knowing this had happened make so much more sense now. Weird looks, people ignoring me or flat out excusing themselves quickly when they talk to me. People know, people have seen it, and I'm so scared for my kids. Our eldest daughter has already received comments about it in school, along the lines of, "Your mother is a whore." And as someone who was bullied a lot in school, and knowing that these videos are close to impossible to take down, I'm so scared that they're going to get bullied and their lives are going to be destroyed. How did the cheating start happen? How long? Were they drunk, coerced into it, pressured, etc.? My wife locked herself in our bedroom for a long time, refusing to properly talk about anything, and to be honest, I didn't ask because the kids had the absolute priority. I've been having therapy myself, and it was recommended that I do talk about it with my wife to get some closure, but only when I felt ready for it. I ended up talking to my wife, her friend, and her friend's husband separately. The cheating my wife did was a one-time thing according to her. The unmarried friend has always been a promiscuous woman. Apparently, she had been hooking up with a guy she met on a forum and dragged my wife and their other married friend into it. There was a thrill to it, and they had been sexting this guy and other guys they met before. They went to a club somewhere, had drinks, and ended up at home having sex. The video was taken by one of the men, and at the time they all denied giving consent to it, but were aware they were being filmed. At some point, 2 of them look at the camera. After that night, my wife had been sexting one of the men for quite some time, but says she never acted on it again. Both her friends kept seeing them. The story is still vague, as the women have conflicting stories about what happened, but this was the gist of it, and I knew enough. The only possible option for me seems to be to leave town and start over elsewhere. But I don't want my kids to miss out on their friends, their hobbies and activities. It's going to rip them out of their lives. But staying here, where everyone knows, seems too incredibly unsafe. The last couple of hours, I've been getting more texts from people who are concerned or are warning me about videos going around in WhatsApp groups. All in all, the effort we, a close friend, and I took to take down videos has been useless because it's going around in town and there's no way to stop it. All I can do now is damage control. I just don't know what the right steps are for my kids, and so far, both my close friends and Reddit are almost 50-50ths about it. My lawyer and I will discuss custody. I'm not sure how to do this yet. The kids love their mom, and she loves them, and taking them away from one another might not be the best option. On the other hand, if she's seen with our kids and people put 2 and 2 together, they might still be unsafe even if we move. Therapy is being worked on for the kids and myself. I am definitely divorcing my wife. I'm going to talk with the school board this week, and they've already started watching the kids for their safety. My wife called me, and she wants to talk. I'm thinking about whether I should right now. My brother called, who's about 30 kilometers away, asking me what's going on because he's seen the video in a WhatsApp group as well. So it seems to be spreading fast to other towns as well. I'm having a talk with my oldest daughter tomorrow, and I'm going to give her the space and time to express her feelings. I'm going to listen to her and let her make up her own mind. I'm going to support her and tell her I'm there for her if she needs me, and I'm going to try and explain it to her in a way that it's understandable, and I'm not going to slander my wife in front of her, or any of our kids for that matter. Life has not been good the last months. 4 months ago, I learned that my wife cheated on me, and it was recorded and spreading on porn websites. The biggest problem being the safety and well-being of our 3 kids. I've divorced my wife. I've lawyered up, and we decided to move to another town because we lived in a small community and the damage was done. Our daughter received nasty comments, and I couldn't risk the kids being more exposed. It wasn't just nasty comments, it's the looks you get and the fact that you know the entire town is talking about you and has seen the mother of your kids in such a way. First, my daughter. People suggested I should speak to her ASAP when I found out what happened to try and do damage control and be there for her. I did speak to her, and she already knew about it. She also received nasty comments. In short, I feel like I was too late because I held off talking to her because I didn't know how to, and to be honest, I was scared to death. She's in therapy, but she's not doing well. Moving schools was hard on her because she was finally making friends in what is a confusing time for a young girl. She's quiet, and I have a hard time communicating with her. I'm told that therapy could take time, and 3-4 months isn't all that much, but it kills me to see her unhappy. She doesn't want to talk to me about the situation, which I completely understand. I've assured her that if she wants to talk about anything, I'm there for her. My son isn't doing well either. He's autistic, and it takes a long time for him to adjust and settle. He had an amazing teacher caretaker in school who he trusted. That's gone from his life, and he's just very uneasy about it. His parents split up, we changed house, location. All in all, it's been very hard on him, and we're trying to get him to feel secure and at ease, but so far it's been hard. Our youngest is doing fine, thankfully. She's too young to grasp what's been going on, even though she's asking about mom and dad and why we moved, but she's actually enjoying herself, which is kind of a blessing at this point. My mother passed away 2 months ago. She'd been unwell, living in a retirement home. I took the kids to see her as much as possible, which got harder as we moved places and was one of the factors I had to take into consideration about moving or staying. I never told her exactly what happened because I just couldn't. It would have wrecked her. I told her we were moving and that my wife and I split up. She asked why, of course, but I just told her we weren't seeing eye to eye about things and everything was going to be all right. I feel conflicted about lying to her, but at the same time, I didn't want to burden her with something that's not going to get better. A lot of people were asking me things about my wife, the cheating situation, the video, etc., and I haven't really touched on that before because it simply wasn't a priority. So I wanted to touch on that here. Some people ask if there were signs of her cheating, and the short answer is yes. I just didn't see it or pay attention to it because you're in love, you've got kids to care for, and I might have been naive. Basically, she was more distant towards me and we weren't intimate often. I figured she was just exhausted as life can be, especially with kids. She started going out more with her friends, paid a lot more attention to her looks, makeup, clothing, etc. She bought shoes she'd never wear. She was protective of her phone. I just thought she was having a good time with her friends, and I thought she deserved that, minus the infidelity part. I got a lot of questions about a deep fake on the video. The answer is no. The video was recorded at my wife's friend's house. This was confirmed to me by her husband, who initially informed me about the situation. I'm aware AI can do scary things, but I recognize my wife easily. I recognize one of her friends. I recognize her shoes clothes, and my wife confessed to the whole thing eventually. Is the video still online? Yes, and it's not ever coming down. A friend of mine works in it, and he went ahead and did everything he could as soon as I got the news, and it's basically impossible. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos.